Hello, folks. Welcome to Cipher Drive recorded programming episode show or whatever. So I'm in my new office. I'm not ready to show everyone around yet because it's not fully cleaned out from my moving phase, but it will be soon. In the meantime, what I'd like to do is start by making a quick four-coder project here, because I realize I haven't done that for this one yet. And I'll just come over here and grab a sample project. I'll keep the batch files. Okay, cool. So now we have everything set up. Let me quickly pull up my debugger here. I want to take a look at where I left off. I seem to remember getting fonts done and wanting to do the automatic conversion stuff. Those are all just accidentally created things that I need to get rid of. And yeah, I don't see anywhere in here any evidence that the BPFT file is loaded in yet. Which is what I would want it to do. So, let's go take a look at why that's not happening yet. It's been a while since I worked on this, so it's going to take a little while to remember where we were. Alright, so we have two debug fonts, and that's it. That's all I'm loading in, and I'm using bind font right there. If manifest memory. That's it. I just do bind font right there. Oh, here it is again. Except on here I use TTF. That seems not right. But what I want to do is, I want those to be just like, bind image. Right, so this is making the binding between the bitmaps and the images, using this to load bitmaps in, and using this to bind the asset manifest for that asset ID to the same name, so that they link up. But yeah, that's just for automatically initializing it. That means this, in theory, should be in there, and what I should do is Yeah, let's try to make this look like one of those now. So, okay, begin folder, manifest, man setup, fonts, and this code I'm writing here is just to automatically fill out the manifest if it doesn't exist. So what I'll have to do is go delete the existing manifest so it'll make a new one to match this. The problem is these numbers here are, well, let me go take a look at what they do. Where is bind font? Let me write that down. I just hit a four-coder bug that I want to fix. Put cursor at first character correctly. New buffers. That might be the fix. Some other bugs I have written down here actually now that I think about it. Anyway, so font ID, yeah, font ID is used to get a font from the asset bank. No, I want this one. Okay, so this is what I actually need to do is turn that into that. Okay, so to force me into it, what I'm going to do is we're going to get rid of these entirely. We're going to copy them into here, get rid of that. And then the difference between a font and an image is, although a font also has a texture ID, a texture width. Why is this guy's text X, text Y? Interesting. Well, like power of 2 converting that up. Yeah, that's what's happening. So, So what I need to do is I need to go back to here, and I'm trying to figure out if I can merge those trivially, and the problem is that this char data and advance, why is advance not just a member of the char data, I wonder? Maybe it gets used more often for layout and stuff. But this, and pull up, whatever pull up means. Okay, we can get rid of that. Warm in my room so that fan gets loud, I think, more easily than I'm used to. I think my laptop is getting loud too. I'm going to try shutting it down. But that might not be making as much noise, actually. I'm not sure. Anyway, so what I was trying to do is figure out establish bank. Yeah, I'm not happy with some of this stuff. It's pretty dumb, actually. So let's see, where's the asset bank? No. There we go. I don't really want these around anymore. Now that returns to the original problem of how am I going to get a font to fit in the same slot an image fits in, or how am I going to make this thing work otherwise? The way the asset bank works is it stores a bunch of fixed width things. Maybe what I need I might need some kind of like double indirection thing where I have a single ID that goes to the asset bank, and then that ID well, there's another option. I could leave in the two arrays still, and yeah, I think that that's what I was originally planning to do. That might work. Let's try that. So if I do that, then come down here, max fonts, Okay, so that broke the font, which is actually really interesting. I'm not sure why that would break the font. Oh, I guess I know why. So anyway, let me continue to take that out of the way, and then down here, do that minus debug font, at least for now. We'll do it by rebasing those, and then we'll have a fonts folder where we bind a font into the manifest. And there I will not rebase the ID. Now that should say I can't do the bind font operation, which is correct. What does declare image do? Oh, it's so that we can do bind and replace. To node putter, parent, insert under. Let's just move that code in there. To node putter, that's all good, that's all good. This right here. Now it just doesn't know how to declare a font. So let's take a look. How do you declare an image? You get the string length. If the string length is good, then you get the manifest. You get the node pointer. You get the node to the ID that they're talking about in the passed in thing. You get the name. You say, if we're expecting that to be empty, then allocate this node. Set the result to that. If it's not equal to 0 and we're not expecting it to be empty, then copy that name into there and result. Okay, got it. So this could just be declare asset, right? Sure do hope this records. Actually, now that I think about it, I didn't bother testing. Anyway, oops. Now you see, here's a big problem that I don't have a solution for yet, which is the asset ID right now is being used for the binding of the bitmaps. Now I bet if I was clever, the way I would actually do this would be to eliminate that somehow. I mean, how does the asset ID in the node get used actually? Because it looks like here the node's asset ID is being used to look up the appropriate asset, which would be separate from the way the asset ID is being used here, which is to identify the node. So I kind of want to figure out what the plan is there. Well, anyway, let me think. Yeah. Let's talk about the reallocation step. We get the new node. Manifest memory, string, new node, asset ID. Yeah. That doesn't answer my question either. There we go. So the asset ID does just tell us which asset we're looking at. So if I have a pointer to an asset, I can look at its asset ID to find out which asset it is. They're the same thing. Okay, so if that's the case, then we need to, I don't know, we need to have a plan, because that means right now the way it's set up, it forces me to put all of the assets that run through the system in the same array, and I'm trying to actually avoid that so that each type of asset can have a separate array. And that means that they have to have, you know, two different nodes in the manifest. Two different nodes in the manifest need to possibly have the same ID to like an asset of some kind. So what I want to do is first come over here, we're going to name this to node ID. That should break a bunch of stuff. I'll just replace everything again with node IDs. Now, the next thing I want to do is go back to the manifest again, and this time I want to add in that, and I need to go kill the old manifest. Now, how has that renaming led to a problem already? There's also an issue there, because that's not right. Node ID equals 1. Type equals 0. Is this the root? Yeah, that's what it looks like. right there. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and I believe that one should work. 21 should work, but here's where things will get weird. Node ID. Walk next asset. Yeah, somehow that's not set up correctly, but I can't understand why. Oh, I wish I could remember how to do this. There it is. So yeah, that means after 21 it fails, which means it's somehow failing because of, well, maybe it's not because of what's written. Let's go do one quick thing real quick. Where's the editor? Eventually I'm going to make sort of a font settings editor here, but I guess that all of these need to be on a to-do, so now I'm curious how this usually works. So walker top does not equal 0. We find out what's the current level. The current level should be 1. We get something off the top of the stack. This is an entry. It tells us where the first and current one is on this entry and what level this entry is at. It then gets the node for the current entry. That'll be the next node. So then it sets the current to its next sibling, which is 1352, so that goes there. And the current is not the first, so the first child of the current node is nothing. We have no nodes, so we move on, and so on. So let me come up here and take a look at, well, give me that when that equals 20. I'm going to come through here. It's not, it's a generic folder, does the folder stuff. Now, if this has a child, we're going to do that stuff. There we go. Let's expand it so we give a minus. We do the string. Not collapse, so we do walk next asset node. Top does not equal 1. Current level, which is 1, becomes 2. It's now at that level. 3224. So it gets that node there. That node has no children. Its parent is 3120. Its node ID is 21. Its next sibling is 0. Oh, that seems wrong. It shouldn't have a next sibling of 0. Its next sibling should be itself if it doesn't have anything, but it shouldn't even be that. It should be the next... Yeah, that's weird. So what went on there that is kind of funky? Next sibling equals node self. Previous sibling equals node self. Node base. Yeah, so how does that happen? Let's take a look. It says right there that when I bind the font, it ought to be putting it next in previous R-putters to itself. So far all it has is its name and its node ID. This is supposed to give it its first child, well, it's information about parent and the next sibling, prev sibling system, and then it'll give its type under that. So we get the parent, which we have a presumably parent set aside somewhere. Node ID 20, folder called fonts. First child equals 0. We get the node self, node parent. Those are both reasonable. First child is 3224, and these both become 3224. So we need a data breakpoint because that is getting changed somehow. That could do it right there. There it is. So that problem is just caused by the fact that I am using the same ID twice. I didn't have any assert there to warn me about it. I'm supposed to use a different ID for the second font. Okay, everything works except now a few things aren't rendering properly. So I'm going to track down, I know why the font's not rendering properly, but I'm going to fix that in a future episode. Basically what has to happen is right now, whenever I tell the rendering system to do something, I'm giving it the direct asset ID, and I really want to give it a node ID and use the node system to name all of the assets, and then the asset system sits behind that so that only things like the renderer who actually need the actual asset information use the node ID to get the asset ID and look up the actual font. But the reason I want to be able to pass just a font ID without having to first look up or a node ID for the font is so that I can give every asset in the game a unique ID, so that no matter what type it is, it has a single ID for it showing up in this editor here. Then from the programmer's point of view, I want to think about it in the same terms that the editor presents it in, so that each asset gets a unique ID. Now, the point is, in order to make that happen, I need to tell the renderer from now on to convert from node ID to the correct asset ID first, rather than trying to find fonts that are like at position number 21 in the array that just don't exist. But that missing deck box thing there I can fix. So let's take a quick look. What's the name of that? I see. And over here, right. So I changed its name at some point with the editor. So that should at least render properly, and then I can call it a day. Oh, right, because now it's got the manifest again. Delete the manifest, now run it. Right, there's two of them. There it is. Alright, so I still need the font to get fixed, and that will be an adventure for next time, is rendering the font through the new system where it has a spot in the nodes. You can see the fonts are showing up down here. This is before I added fonts, they weren't showing up down here. There wasn't this extra folder here. But anyway, yeah, we need that. I also need to add in a few more features on the editor here. I need the ability to drop in PNGs and the ability to drop in TTFs and BPFTs to make new assets and to edit assets and stuff. Can I click on these and view them? Yes, I can do that. I can't see the names of that, things like that, but I can look at these. Parsecs. Those are the numbers right there, I think. Yeah. Different kinds of comets. Oops, mic bump. Sorry about that. Folder. Alright, cool. So, that's it for now. Thanks. Ooh, I forget about this. What does this do? Let me change its type. forget which one it is now. Let's see. That one. So the fourth one up from the green spot. 3, 4. Does that fix it? No, I'm not sure what's going on there either. Okay, well, anyway, I'll just delete the manifest and it'll be good for next time. Thanks so much for checking out this video. There'll be more Cipher Drive coming every week for the foreseeable future. See you later. Bye-bye.